Well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call Almaty Toastmasters Club meeting to order. My name is Bartkoske. I'm the president of our Almaty Club, and we've been official since December 2013. And today we have a special guest with us. Afterwards, we're going to take a photo. But could I have the Astana president please introduce yourself and give us greetings from the Astana Toastmasters Club?
All right, should I come up here or just here?
From right there is fine.
All right, good evening, guys. My name is Almaty Toastmasters. I'm the current president of Almaty Toastmasters Club. I'm here on a working trip and decided to come and join you today at the meeting and watch and enjoy the Toastmasters experience in Almaty. I hope I will enjoy the meeting. And my vice president of public relations asked me to take a photo with you. I think we will do it at the end of the meeting. If you wish, if you allow me to do that, we will just make a little PR for Toastmasters in Kazakhstan on our Instagram page and Facebook pages. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So, Toastmasters meets in over 10,000 clubs around the world in over 125 countries. And so there's 4 clubs in Kazakhstan. And our desire is that someday, seeing a lot of you here today, we'll have at least 2, 3, 4 clubs here in Almaty. Right now there's 1, but we're hoping to see that those numbers grow. And there's something that happens wherever you go in the world. When I was on a business trip to China, I got to visit Toastmasters. When I was in America, I visited Toastmasters. So when you get used to how the club functions here, anywhere you travel, you have an instant group of friends. People that are like-minded, or positive, energetic. And our meetings include 3 things: prepared speeches, evaluations, and impromptu speeches. You learn by doing in Toastmasters. You don't hear speeches about how to give speeches. You give a speech. And of course, there's instructions, a manual about how to do it. In fact, the manual of a competent communicator has 10 different projects you work through at first. What I'd like to do as we begin is briefly introduce, is anyone here for the first time? Just raise your hand. I think we have a lot of first-time guests. So welcome, we're very glad that you're here. Later as we do table topics, you may be called upon to speak. If you don't want to speak, you can always decline that role. Our elections are coming up soon, so something special at the end of our meeting today is we'll have a few people who are running for office have an opportunity to give a short 1 to 2 minute speech about their vision for the club, what they hope to see happen, and one of the roles that they're interested in. Well, right now I'd like to turn it over to our general evaluator, Andre, to introduce our team to help us today.
So I'm your general evaluator for today. So I will evaluate the overall performance of the club as in general, and maybe stop at some specific points, maybe of interest, of improvement. And I have my team to help me evaluate today's meeting. So the member 1 of my team is Ruslan Zelentsov. Ruslan is today our accountant. Can you please describe your role, Ruslan?
Hi, my role is an accountant, so I'll be listening for arms and hours, all necessary filling words. So if you see, I already do many so, and I'm using the app. So be careful, because don't use those words, because I'll be counting, and by the end of the meeting, I will tell you how many you did.
Thank you. Second member in my little team is Jansaya. Jansaya is our grammarian for tonight. Can you please stand up and describe your role, please?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jansaya. I will be grammarian today. I will be checking your grammar, your correct sentences, incomplete sentences, and let me introduce the word of the day, which you can see on your paper. The word of the day is prodigious, which means remarkably or impressively in its 10th size or degree. And here is given example. Here, prodigious sales performance resulted in a promotion. So please try to use the word of the day during the speech, and you will get points for what is in the speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Jansaya. And if you can look carefully at the board. If you just look, you can see the word prodigious here written. And our third member, but not least member in my team is Aida. Aida, can you please describe your role?
Hi everyone, my name is Aida and today my role is timer. As a timer, I am responsible for monitoring time of our meeting. As you know, time is an important part of our meeting, and I will show you the signals, like these cards. When speaker reaches his minimum time, I will show him this green card. When speaker reaches his midpoint, I will show him yellow card, and when speaker reaches his end, I will show red card. So please be on time and enjoy the meeting.
Thank you, Aida, for the presentation, and I wish you all good luck with the meeting.
So before we begin, I'd like to call on one of our leaders, part of our leadership team, unofficial way. Dalet, could you please read for us the mission statement for Toastmasters on the bottom of the agenda?
Sure. Our mission. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth.
All right, thank you. And so Toastmasters is about improving, growing, developing yourself. So before we begin with our prepared speeches, I want you to turn to the person next to you and just tell them what you appreciate about them. So it may feel a little awkward, but just something as you look at them, you're like saying, I'm glad I'm here, I'm glad you're here. So find something to compliment the person who's sitting next to you. Be creative, smile, be energetic.
Happy to sit near you. Seem like
All right, I'm glad to hear a buzz. I'm glad to hear people talking. But their time is up. We need the timer to show the red. Our timer should show the red and tell people it's time to be quiet again. Good. Greg still. Greg, it's a very interesting conversation. We'll have to ask you to close and finish it afterwards. Because you're up next. Our first speaker is going to be doing project number 3. And so, Greg, can you please explain to us what is the purpose of project number 3 as her evaluator?
Sure.
Okay.
Today, Gorga will be giving her project number 3, titled Get to the Point. Basically, the aim of Get to the Point is actually to have a purpose in mind that you want to get out of the speech, and a purpose that you want the actual audience to be able to know at the end. And the whole objective is then to start your speech and actually get in a very direct path to that point, like very sort of efficient. So that's what I'll be looking at for that.
Okay, thanks, Greg. So our first speaker tonight is someone who's joined Toastmasters and been active and wants to be involved in many different ways. She's worked at Alton Bank for almost a year now. One of her favorite speeches she's ever heard is by Steve Jobs at the graduation ceremony at Stanford University. Did you hear it live, or you just watched it on YouTube? YouTube. Only on YouTube. So I visited the campus. It's a very beautiful campus, an amazing place. And one of her favorite movies is Forrest Gump. So it's one of my favorite movies as well. And hopefully we're going to learn about, maybe we'll learn about ping pong. That was his favorite sport. As she gives her project number 3 speech, What is Sport for Me? Joming Wakling Gahar Aksakalola.
In ancient Greece, which is the motherland of Olympic Games, were told such wisdom words. If you want to be healthy, running. If you want to be smart, running. If you want to be beautiful, running. So nowadays we can paraphrase these words such as if you want to be healthy, smart and beautiful, do sports. When I was a child, I remember that all the children in the yard were running, laughing, playing different games such as rope, hide and seek, catch up, badminton, strike ball, and so others. It was really awesome childhood. I'm so nostalgic about it because nowadays the childhood is so different. Thanks to the development of new technologies and the boom of video games, computer games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royales, or Angry Birds, many children just sitting inside the home and playing these video games, not interacting and nothing, instead of going to the yard and play in the fresh air. The same occurs to the adults, you know. Many years ago, especially my friends who like to go to the hiking, climb the mountains. Nowadays, it's mostly flowered. Maybe you go to the cafe, maybe restaurants, or just go to the cinema, and so on. As for me, sports helps us to keep our body fit, active, optimistic, and it makes our personality more hardy, disciplined. And does anybody of you has a situation when you have no any desire, any aims in your life, and you first are just third and you do not have anything and everything is unknown you? What are you doing in such kind of situation? As for me, I'm just running to the gym. I can say run, swim, or playing volleyball with my friends. I totally prefer the third one. Why? I'm explaining this because I'm extrovert, you know. I do like have fun with my friends. So, the volleyball helps me to achieve three things. First of all, it's be confident. The second one is not afraid of failure. The third one is teamwork. The first one, be confident. Imagine yourself, shy girl, who is doing first step to the volleyball and looking with big eyes to the boys. There was almost 80% of boys. They were very strong, independent, and very healthy. I know that it's comparable with the basketball, but it also requires to be strong and be ready for every hit and defense yourself, you know. So the second one is not afraid of failure. During all my life, I was such kind of person. Even in my school, even in my university, I try to do my best. I always want to do my best and have 5 or at least 4. It was a tragedy for me to lose something, you know. But in the teamwork, sometimes your team is losing, and after some times I've learned to accept the failure, and now it helps me in my more private life. So teamwork, you know, it's saying nothing if I told you that volleyball is the team play. It's obviously. Since my childhood, I was so independent and I couldn't trust to anyone to do something. If the project was given to me, I must do it from the beginning to end by myself, and I can't trust to anyone. But in the volleyball, you couldn't do anything alone. You must do it with a team. So 3 things that totally changed me as a human. So now, if you want to be healthy, smart, and beautiful, don't waste your time, do sport.
Wow, I'm impressed. So I've seen lots of improvement.
Thanks, Sonia.
She says thanks to Alia. That's because part of Toastmasters is having mentors. So when you join the club, you'll be assigned a mentor, someone who will help you develop and improve your speaking. And so it definitely helps to get feedback and have someone help you prepare for your speech. So thinking of sports, I remember when I was young, someone said, would you ever do this? Would you jump up, run as fast as you can, 5 steps forward, stop, run backwards 6 steps, stop, run as fast as you can, 4 steps, stop, and do some arm motions, go back to where you started, and do this all over again. And would you do that for an hour? And everyone's like, no, who would like to do that for an hour? But if you gave it the name tennis, then people are like, yes, I would love to play tennis for an hour. So that's why I think sports are great. When you're playing sports with people, you get exercise and enjoy it. Well, our second speaker tonight will be doing project number 4. And Alia, could you please explain to us the purpose of project number 4?
Sure. So Genera's project is called How to Say It. And essentially her goal is to use clear, simple, vivid, forceful, and descriptive words to communicate her message better and possibly have an impact with her speech, because words are very powerful and the choice of words is very important in public speaking. Thank you, everyone.
So our next speaker is someone who was very excited about Toastmasters when she first joined, and then she got busy, and then she says, I want to continue my speeches. And so I've been waiting to hear her next speech, because she did her first 3 right away. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say. She works at Top Life, which is a career guidance counselor place. She's been there since almost a year now, since September 2015. She really enjoys her work, and we'll hear more about it tonight. One of her favorite speeches is, I have a dream. Not my speech, I have a dream, but Martin Luther King's speech, I have a dream. So if you were here before, that was the title of my speech. When I first read that, I'm like, oh, mine's your favorite speech? No, my name's not Martin Luther King. And her favorite movie is Sherlock Holmes. So that's because you're a criminal mind, or you want to catch the criminals. I'm not sure. But join me in welcoming Jadris Severkova. She gives her speech entitled, Everybody is a Genius.
Professional as Sherlock Holmes. Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. I want to start my speech today with a wonderful saying of Albert Einstein. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. In September of 2015, as Tom introduced, I started to work in Career Guidance Center. And the main aim of this center is to help school students, high school students, to choose their future profession based on their talents, abilities, skills, and their interests. While I was working there, I saw a lot of different cases, but tonight I want to share one with you. Once, father of a teenager came to us in our center and said, my son is so slow, is so unhurried. I want to be him more active, more energetic like me. I want him to be a businessman. I need a successor for my business. Can you please do something with him? Our guidance counselor looked at father, and the only thing, she promised him that he will do her best, but she will do her job. And when she started coaching with that boy, she found out that the boy has all the talent to become a great neurosurgeon or eye surgeon. And can you imagine now a surgeon operating an eye being active and energetic while cutting your eye? Isn't it funny? You expect a neurosurgeon or eye surgeon to be unhurried like that boy, to be precise, to be accurate, isn't it? And when we told that fact to father of that boy, he was amazed, he was simply amazed. And thanks God, he changed his mind, and now that boy studies in medical university, and he's doing great, and hopefully in 7 years or a little bit more, he will become a great neurosurgeon or eye surgeon. Sometimes your weakness is your strength. When I was a little kid, I was very talkative. Maybe too much talkative for a normal kid. And I remember when we were riding from one city to to another with my aunt and uncle in a car, I was talking the entire road. I was asking my cousins questions about the nature, about the world, their opinion. And I was interrupted by my aunt saying, "Hey Jadra, why you talk so much? You should be calmer. Look at your cousins, they are like all other good children." For next 2 hours, I was keeping silence because I was trying to demonstrate that I can be a good child. For sure now I'm almost psychologist with diploma, and I know that this is called high communication skills, good networking skills, and I know that this is my strong side, not a weakness, not my limitation, and I use this talent in my job, and I'm going to use it in my future career. I can provide you another example about Steve Jobs. Some people were finding him very critic and dogmatic person, but exactly these qualities helped him to make a breakthrough, to make an innovation in technology. And there is a story of how he made his engineers to remake an iPod. When they presented him for his approval an iPod, he took it, looked at it, and said, "Make it smaller." Engineers looked at him and they tried to explain, "It's simply not possible to make it any smaller." He took an iPod, went to an aquarium, and dropped it there in the tank. And when the air bubbles floated on the top, he said, "That means that there is a space in iPod. Make it smaller." Well, some may found these qualities as negative traits, but look, this made him as happy using Apple products. And I want you all to think of your weaknesses or negative traits, which can sometimes be your strengths. Some of you may find your friends, or your friends may find you picky when you 10th time correct their grammar or misspelling or wrong accent. But isn't it mean that you can be a good grammar teacher or copywriter? Maybe your close people are tired of you taking photos all the time and everywhere or taking a video. But I think this just proves that you are a creative person, isn't it? I can provide a lot of other examples, but the main idea I want to deliver tonight is that let's stop judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Let's remember that everyone is a genius.
So, excellent job to both of our speakers. And I hope tonight our evaluators are just as good. You have a fun job evaluating great speeches. So our first evaluator tonight is Greg Heber. Can you please come up and evaluate Gauhar's speech?
Tom is right. I'm not sure if it's easier or difficult evaluating good or better speeches, or like great speakers, or whatever. It's always hard. As I said earlier, when I introduced the speech title, project number 3 is about getting to the point and having a purpose that we all suddenly are aware of, so that we know what we're supposed to be listening out for. And with Bartkosche's speech today, I think she made it very clear to us all what the point was, because I think in the title she's written there, "What is sport for me?" And it doesn't have a question mark, but if you put a question mark there, it's kind of like that's obviously what she wants us to know. Why is sport for me? So that's an easy way to get the purpose of the speech out of the way, so we're very clear, and then we can just listen and relax and try and understand it further. So I think that's a good way of what you've done is a good start to getting to the point. Now, once you have the purpose in mind, it's all about then delivering the rest of the speech, and a lot of that comes down to how you structure the speech, so therefore incorporating what you learn in project number 2, which is body beginning, body, and conclusion. And I think you're talking about sport, and you've started the speech off with what better way to start it off than talk about the mammoth of all sports, the Olympic Games in Greece, and to saying about how sport is so important back then and what it means to the people back then, why they do it, etc. So I think this is a great way to start your speech when you're talking about sport. And then after that, you've divided your speech up into a number of parts, which I think are equally great in terms of how they lead us, the audience, to this path of, trying to understand why sport is so important for you, Gorka. And the first way you did that was you did a contrast, and that was basically saying how was sport back in your childhood or even further back 20 years ago or whatever, how it was important as opposed to what people do now, where maybe sport has a less of a role in terms of people go to the coffee shop or play video games or whatever. So you've done this contrast, which I think is a great way of getting us to understand something better when there's a contrast where you can stick this way and that way, and then you can understand what you're trying to say a little bit better, I think. And then after that, you've moved then into the second part of the body, which is the personal story. So anyone out there giving a speech, you should always try and put a personal story in it, because then we can really start to understand the person, and it helps us to understand the topic and exactly what you're trying to say. And your personal story was great. You've kept it quite short, three points about why sport is important for you. I think they were again, so you get confidence, so that you're not afraid of failure, and also the teamwork aspect. So I just really like the whole structure, because for me it was interesting, and then it just kind of led to the ultimate conclusion about why Gorka is interested in sport, or why it's important to you. Yeah. So I think that was just a great structure, and I think everyone fully understands now why it's important for you, sport. The only thing I would say is that there's a couple of times in your speech where perhaps you used them as rhetorical questions. I can't remember exactly what they were now, but you said something like, it could have been like an opportunity for you to get some participation from the audience, but instead you kind of just left it hanging and then just moved into your experience. So that's probably just one tip maybe, yeah? If you have a chance to use rhetorical questions, don't use a rhetorical question and actually have it as a real question, yeah? So maybe that's just one tip. So overall though, I thought your speech was just fantastic, and actually maybe even prodigious, and I congratulate you on project number 3.
Thank you, Greg, for reminding us that we should use the word of the day, prodigious. It's not very visible up here, but it is here. Sherlock Holmes could pull his magnifying glass and see it. So Greg likes to use a prodigious amount of superlatives when he gives evaluations, which is a great way to do it. Our second evaluator tonight is Aliyah, who will be evaluating Jadra's speech. So please join me in welcoming Aliyah.
Well, congratulations, Jadra, with your moving forward with your projects in Confident Communicator and project number 4. I was lucky enough to work with you before, so prodigious progress and improvements. Although, you didn't really, it was very light, so I remember a few things that we've discussed before, so I was amazed and taken away by your speech today. I think she did achieve her goal. Essentially use of simple words, and the message actually touched my heart in so many ways, and I think one of the most important things that I liked about your speech, Jadra, was that I know you care a lot about those things that you were talking about today, and actually that's one of the most important tips that I would recommend for everyone. And this is always important when you communicate a message here, when you stand here in front of the public, and in order to remain sincere, you have to be passionate, you have to care, and we could tell that you cared about it. So I think it was very easy for you to come up with examples, and I love those 3 examples that you've used, very distinct one, but at the same time wrapped up so professionally into the message of your speech. So the father and son story, what you've learned in terms of improving your career, improvements in your skills and that you've developed,
thanks to the fact that you were observant of those things, and of course the Steve Jobs story. Here and there it's always effective to pull in some interesting personality and impressive leaders around the world that we admire. I loved how confident you were, and the saying that you've used from Albert Einstein, I actually love it. It was a perfect start. It was very simple and yet very strong. It was very effective. And right away, it set the goal of your speech. And it was also a very clear and simple quote. I'm guilty of it. I love quotes, and I usually use very elaborate ones. I received a lot of criticism for that. You know, words that are very sophisticated, but I just love language, and I love, English. So that was, I found it amazing that you, out of all the things you could have chosen from, and there were 2 or 3 quotes that, and wisdoms like, your weakness is your strengths, and a few things that you tastefully placed and wrapped around your speech. That was incredible. And one of the few things that, just to make sure your speeches in the future are a little bit more effective, I would recommend just a quick maybe check on grammar, because I think your English is perfect, it's fluent, but there are a few elements like, isn't it? You do use it in an inappropriate, I'm sure this is grammarian's job, but I would, this was just one thing that kind of, it would be just a perfect speech. And also in the future as well, rhetorical devices is a difficult element, but I think looking into those, like metaphors and everything, would in the future make your speeches even greater. But body language, voice modulation, you've pretty much covered next 2-3 projects. So kudos to you and congratulations on a great speech. Thank you.
Now is your opportunity to vote for Best Speaker and Best Evaluator. But before you vote, we want you to turn to 2 or 3 people next to you. Because the reason that we give speeches is not to come up here and just practice our English or to practice speaking in front of people or overcoming fears. It's to change lives. Communication is about taking truths, principles, experiences, sharing them with another so it connects with them. So what we want you to do is with the people next to you, our one topic is about sports, so tell the person next to you what's one of the sports that you enjoy, and secondly, tell the other person what is something that you once thought was a weakness, but you now realize is a strength of yours. You got to be a little more vulnerable to share the second one, but go ahead and give it a try. You'll be surprised at the response that you'll get.
Yes, I'm writing on the best speaker
so I hope you enjoyed conversing with one another, sharing about something. But now we want you to vote. So vote for best speaker, which is either, it's got a difficult choice today. Jadra or Gahar, both great speeches. And also 2 good evaluators as well, Greg and Alia. So vote for who you thought gave the best evaluation, that was most helpful, most encouraging. And pass them up front this way. So as you're passing them up and voting, we come to the third part of our meeting, which is table topics. This is the opportunity for impromptu speeches. And so you're warmed up already talking, so I'd like to invite John or Asiel up, Gulatava, to lead us in our table topic session. So please, Erin, if you could give her your full attention.
Good evening, everyone, again. Before we will start, I would like to explain how this part of meeting is going to be held. I know that today we have newcomers, so in this part of meeting, I will ask you some questions, different questions, and you will have time to give a short speech. I think it's going to be 1 or 2 minutes. So please be active and volunteer. It's going to be interesting. With the beginning of spring, all over children from all over the world started to count down the days until the lessons were finished. And I think they just don't understand that the school days are the most careless days in their life, but we do. And today let's call to mind our school time. And here comes my first question, and I think it is the easiest one. Tell us about the most memorable thing or moment from your school time. Who wants to be a volunteer?
Okay.
Yes.
Most memorable, when I was in 10th grade, like 6 or 7 people like from my class want to finish school early for 1 year. It's like extern, how it's called?
External.
External, yes. And I told them like, why you are hurrying up? We are just young and we should not be older than we are. Just sit here and enjoy our life. We have a lot of time. We will be like adults. We should be here in school and have fun. And we had one girl, like every class had the most beautiful girl in class, you know. And she told me like, hey, what are you talking about? You are like older than you're oldest in our class, and you are saying this to us. And I say, yes, because I understand life, or you don't understand life. We should be relaxed and just enjoy our life. And say, no, you are stupid and you're oldest and you are saying to other people like you. And I say, because you don't know anything and you are not good at like education. And I told her, like, if I really want, I can pass all exam and finish school early, like other guys. And she said, okay, let's try. And I was so angry that she didn't believe me. And I went to home and come to my mother and told her, I want to finish school early. And she said to me, why? I told her, I think a lot about this, like 1 year, and today I decided. And we went to school, and it was the last day when we can like sign up for the external class. And they say, okay, why are you doing in last day? And I told him, like, I thought a lot of time and I decided. And I finished school early for 1 year, linguistic gymnasium. And when we meet after like 7 years, our classmates, and I told about this like accident. And what I was surprised because she didn't remember it.
to answer to this question? No? Okay. So I will ask you the second question. It's not a question. Do you agree with the statement that school doesn't prepare us for real life? Here we go.
Thank you. I really think that school is not designed to prepare us for real life at all. And I've graduated, I finished my school a long time ago in 19 last century. As probably you know, I teach 10th and 11th grade nowadays mostly, but I have other students as well. And whenever they ask me, my school students, they ask me, why do we need this physics or chemistry? And I always try to convince them that they really need it. And when I try to think of any examples from my real life, I say, hey, come on, for example, you want to cook plov, okay? And your mother taught you how to cook plov for your family of like 3 people. But then you have, you're gonna have guests, you are inviting your friends, and you want to cook more plov. So how are you gonna, know what quantity of products to use for that? So here comes your chemistry and math to just simply calculate the proportions. But sometimes you have to understand that the proportion in food doesn't have to be increased, doubled. If you double the number of guests, for example, you're inviting 6 or 9, it doesn't mean that you should double all the products. Because here you have to think that you're gonna treat your guests not only with plov. You can cook some salads and other stuff which would be enough for your friends to treat. So that are my examples of using simple school subjects in daily life, but I hope it was useful for you.
As you all know, in primary school, pupils start to build up his or her own willpower. And your success in school was measured by the grades. And my next question, were the grades are important for you in your school time? Yes, please, our guest speaker.
Right, thank you. When I do remember myself in my primary school, I was obsessed with grades. Basically, when I got something which was lower than B, which is 4, I was ready to cry. I was really coming to my home and said to my mother and father, I shouldn't come to home today because I got a C. I got a 3 grade. I was a typical an A-obsessed student, for whom the grades were the greatest asset in the world. And from now, thinking from perspective, on one thing, grades are important because you're learning how to build your reputation. And in adult life, in work, in business, you need this skill to learn your reputation, to build your reputation. So grades are important. On the other hand, you don't need to be stuck with grades because life is impossible without failures, without mistakes. And if you are not learning how to face those mistakes, how to face failures, I would wish you a good chunk of luck in the future. Thank you. One more.
And now, please raise your hands those who was an A grade student. Yermurat, can you please and answer the next question. Imagine that you had a child who is a teenager and who hates school and don't want to study at all. And what will be your actions as a parent?
How old is he?
He's a teenager. I think he's 13, 14 years old. It's your child.
Okay, so good evening everyone. Of course, first I had to motivate my child to teach him, to tell him and to make him understand that the education is important. I would tell him that of course I can teach you how to do that, but I cannot understand it for you, the subject. So first motivation, maybe he likes to play computer games. I would say, if you don't study, if you don't do your homework on your math, you won't play the games like for the whole week. Maybe somehow I'll get his motivation. And on the other part, I would be still wondered why my child won't study well his grades. Yeah, so first thing I would like to motivate him very much. If he doesn't get a good grade on his exam, he won't play football for 2 weeks. Some kind of that kind of motivation. Thank you.
Maybe someone also wants to imagine. Yep.
Hi everyone, this is the first time in general speaking in front of so many people, so kind of nervous. So if I had a child who doesn't want to study, I appreciate your opinion who was the previous, right? But on the other hand, I would never ever, I guess, force my child to study, like by saying I'm not gonna do it if you're not gonna study, or like, you know, because I think it's not the best way, the best option that parents can do. I guess it's better to encourage a child by finding out some areas he is interested in, for instance, like letting him to participate in several courses, for instance. Maybe this child is not good at study, but maybe he is a creative one, maybe he is good at music or maybe art or something. So if he's good at other things, he is not necessarily need these subjects. That's why I would give other options to choose for him.
As we all know, teachers play the main role in our school. And I would like to ask you about a teacher who influenced your life in your school time. Yes, please. Your name?
Good evening, everyone. I would say the teacher who influenced my life the most at school was my history teacher, because she was very informative. She was very open, you know, to all of us, especially in this at the age of, I think it was when we were 13 or 14 years old. We were vulnerable and exactly this type of guy you just described. Who doesn't want to study? I was this kind of kid, you know. I didn't like going to maths teachers. I didn't like attending physics, chemistry, and I really liked going to history lessons because of the teacher, actually. Because all the time she approached the auditorium with different cases, and the more she actually told us about the world, about different cultures, different countries, histories, etc., the more we were kind of engaging into the history lessons. And I think, I'm actually confident in this, that she gave us, like, by us I mean whole class, she gave us the base which we applied for our whole life in regards to history. Thank you.
Okay, the next question. What do you think what are the qualities of a good teacher? You know? The qualities of good teacher.
Qualities of
Of a good teacher. What do you think? What qualities?
Well, apart from the qualification of the teacher, the personality of the teacher, I think is very important. There is one example in my personal life when I was a 10th grade student back in the school. At that time, we had a teacher. There was a teacher. She was a deputy director in charge of education, and she was kind of well respected and a very respectable person with a really good reputation. And once I participated in one school competition, and at that school competition, I got the first place. And right after that, I felt she really believes in me. And whenever I felt that she believes in me, I really wanted to prove that I can do even more. I can do even better. And right after that, I participated in a number of school competitions, not only school, but inter-school competitions. And I always did my best to take at least one of the awards, just in order to prove, and I really wanted to get praise from that teacher. You know? And so I think the belief and believing in the student, it matters a lot. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is going to be it's a little bit strange and different. Okay. What would you do? Imagine that you're a student, and what would you do if you saw someone with a gun at school? With a gun at school. Yeah.
I like to answer to strange questions. My name is Bauer, and okay, so if I see the gunman, right?
You're a student.
And I see the gunman.
Yeah,
I'm not gunman, right?
No.
I know that's usually it happens in America. So, and I've been there, so, and I've seen a lot of things going on in the news, and sometimes I imagine if I was in the shoot, like on the feed to the students who saw the gunman, and I'll be run away. I mean, but it's the first thing, it's your first instinct to save yourself, but on the other hand, you know, that, I don't know, just remind that I was in karate for 3 months and using some martial arts like this, so to help to protect if they're so close, but the other things that's, yeah, just what do? You just run away because it's a gun. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And the last question is, this question for those who didn't live in the north of Kazakhstan. Who lived in the south of Kazakhstan? Was school ever cancelled for a day when you were a child? Was school cancelled for a day when you were a child? Because I know that in the north of Kazakhstan it was, I think, for a week they cancelled their school. Yeah, they cancelled that.
where school got cancelled and everyone was really happy. And I grew up here in Almaty, and very often school got cancelled during earthquakes, and it was awesome. Like, we loved earthquakes. We couldn't go home because our parents would be at work, and our principal would never let us go home. So we'd be, hanging around the school, talking to our friends, and wondering how long would the earthquake be. And it was the best time because we used to go to the shop, buy sweets and candies. And I know it sounds weird, but we were always very excited about earthquakes. Once we had a teacher whom we didn't like, and I guess we were not behaving very well during the class, and she decided to lock us inside the classroom. And it was a bad idea because we wrote a complaint to our principal, and I remember we were 10 years old and we wrote, what if there was an earthquake and we were locked and we would all die? Unfortunately, that teacher lost her job, and now I don't want to think that we were the cause of her losing the job. But yeah, and I remember that once, but that was in primary school, the school got cancelled because there was a lot of snow. But that was a long time ago, so probably it happens once or twice. But yeah, it's nice when school gets cancelled, but don't miss your classes if you're still in school or university. I'm not encouraging any lack of discipline. So I think it was interesting to make a reminder of school days. Thank you.
So in America, we talk about Sesame Street because that was a popular program for kids and teaching about grammar and writing and arithmetic. Well, your job now is to vote for the best table topic speaker. And so please take out another piece of paper. And yeah, so the names again are, if you stand up and I call your name, you have Ilyas, right here. Yadikar, right here. Anwar. Yamarat. Yamarat, can you stand up? Then we have Balnur. Yarnur. Then we have Yarnur. One letter makes a big difference. So one is Yarnar, one is Yarnur. Write it properly. Then we have Bauer. And then last is Galhar. So please vote and then pass the pieces of paper up front.
So you should write down. I didn't tell you.
So as you're passing this forward, I'd like to call on Andre, our general evaluator today, to come up and introduce his evaluations.
As expected, it was a great meeting today, and let me once again call to our small team, but great team of evaluators. So first member of the team is Ruslan. Ruslan, can you please give us your report? Hope it will be short.
Thank you. Hi again, and let me give you a report of field awards and bad usage. So Tom, he had 5 so's and 3 R's. Then we had Andre, we had 2 R's, 1 and 2 so's. Jansea, we had 1 R, 2 N's, and Aida, we had 1 R, 1 N, and 1 so. Gauhar. We had 3 R's, 2 N's, and 4 souls. And 4, you know. Greg. Greg has 11 R's, 6 N's, and 6 souls. I said she had 9 R's, 8 R's, and 2 souls. Ilyas had 4 R's, 11 N's, and 10 life. Yadikar, 3 R's, 6 N's, and 2 you know. Anwar had 6 R's, 4 N's. Yermurat had 2 R's and 1 N and 1 soul. And everybody else, Bao. Bao had 3 R's and 2 N's. That's it. Thanks.
Our next facilitator, someone who helped evaluate the meeting, is Jean Saya, who is a grammarian for today. Can you give us your report?
Good evening, everyone. So let me start from Andrei, well done. Tom, well done. Greg, well done. Apart from you used several times, you know, word. So yeah, first speech, go hard. You said I like to have many fun with friends or something like this. It should be like I like to have fun. I don't think we should use like many fun. And then you said second one, not be afraid. It should be not to be afraid. You've missed the word too. I think you said like three times the sentence and you missed the words. And then you said I can't trust anyone. It should be I can't trust to no, you said I can't trust to anyone. It should be without to. I can't trust anyone. So the rest was fine. And then the second speaker was Radra. Radra, you started your speech with I want to start my speech something, and then you said today at the end. I think it's better to start like today. I want to start my speech, so to use the today in the beginning. Then when you said example about father, you said him like she. Yeah, she did something. I can't remember the sentence. And then there was sentence about I was keeping silence. It should be I was keeping silent. Then you said when you were saying about talents, you said I use this talent, like single form. It should be I use these talents. And then when you were saying about Steve Jobs, you said it make him happy, or he is happy using iPod, but he's like not alive yet. It should be like past tense, yeah, probably. And then yeah, was fine, but you used several times, you know. And then Aseli, table talk. You start your sentence before we will start. It should be, what is it? Sorry. It should be before we start, without will, because it's present simple. When you're saying like between 1 and 2 minutes, you've missed the word between. As you said, like 1 to 2 minutes. So we just when you said easiest question, it should be the easiest question. When you said my next question, and you said the question, but you didn't say is. My next question is. Then you said I would like ask you something. It should be I would like to ask you. You've missed the word to. You said what you think the best qualities of teacher. It should be what do you think. You use instead of do. When you started sentence about North Kazakh schools, you didn't complete your sentence. You started like in North Kazakhstan it was, and then you moved to another sentence. You said at the end, you said to make you remind about school time, something like that. But should be just to remind you about school times. And then like short table talk speakers, yeah. Ilyas, you used, when you said most beautiful, you missed the word there. when you said I understand, you missed. You said I am understand. It should be understand. You used like. You didn't finish your sentence, I believe. At the end, you just said she didn't remember, and like I felt that it's incomplete. Yeah, because you said one sentence about nowadays mostly. You use like two words together. Some way it didn't sound correct to me. You said you know several times. Then Anwar, you said I was really come to home. It should be I was come home without to. And I think you shouldn't use the word really. And then Yernar, you said the more we engaging, it should be the more we engaged. Then Yernur, you said she was kind of respectable person, and then you said she was a respectable person. So I think you should decide, and you shouldn't use kind of respectable. Bauer said I will be run away. It should be just I will run away. And Gofar, fine, but you used, like 8 times. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Very strict and vigilant grammarian today. Hopefully I'm not a speaker today. So, and our next, our timer. Aida, can you please give us your report?
Hi everyone again. So as you know, time is an important part of our meeting. I'll give you a short report. So first, prepared speaker Gauhar, you were on time. 4 minutes 55 seconds. Jadra, you were on time. 5 minutes 52 seconds. Our evaluators, Greg, your speech was 4 minutes 6 seconds out of 3 minutes. Aliyah, your evaluation speech was 3 minutes 25 seconds out of 3 minutes. Then our table topic session was on time. Overall was 20 minutes 46 seconds. All speakers was on time except Ilyas. His speech was 2 minutes 20 seconds out of 2 minutes. And Ruslan, your report was on time. You were 1 minute 59 seconds. And Jansayan, your speech was 4 minutes 11 seconds out of 4 minutes.
So that were our latest time, grammar, and accounting. And as a general evaluator, let me give my reflection to you about this meeting. This meeting was, as usual, a very good quality, and I cannot say that this is better than before, this is worse than, maybe it's better than it was before. Maybe, yeah, maybe, no. So, but it's like if I compare Harry Potter movies from 1 to 7, so they are the same, they're great. That's how our meetings are great, the same. We don't have any very bad meetings. Our meetings are good. And if Tom is a Toastmaster, it is sure that you have a 100% quality. It's like a stamp that today will be good meeting. And Tom tries to not even give a good meeting, but tries to do something different. For example, when he asked Dolly to read the vision, I thought, wow, it's something unusual because I never experienced it before. It is something which we'd never done, I think. So we try to be innovative and try to look for some good options. Maybe we drop it, maybe we won't drop it. And as for table topic session, it was also great. So Gauhar did a great job. Your questions were very, sorry, that's it. It was great. You are great. So your questions are wide variety of questions. So you ask about information. You ask you communicate with the audience when you ask ask questions to raise hands about ace and whether you are a person or not a person. And when you ask to represent someone, so it is very good. We have different questions, and people need to really think about how to do it. And you asked for volunteers, you had volunteers, so it was very interesting. And as I understand, you moved from biographies to just topic-oriented form. I think it is also good because before it was biography, so the person was talking about the person, and I don't even remember a person. Who was the last person who was spoken about? And I don't remember in fact so biography. So it was really maybe sometimes boring when I present facts about some person, and no one. Maybe we have some fans of the person, but in general, there are also people that nobody interested in this person, and for them maybe it is not interesting. But now we try to choose topics of general interest. For example, before it was your nurse about holidays. Everyone interested in holidays, and today is about school days. So everyone had school days, right? You all went to school, right? No? So it was of general interest to anybody, and very, very good.
All right, thank you, Andre, for doing that. Well, now we get to announce the winners for our best speaker. Well, no, we'll start backwards. Our best table topic speaker tonight is Yonur. So as he's coming up, our best evaluator tonight is Aliyah. And so the best evaluator evaluated the. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I finally got it.
He got it. Our best speaker here for our best evaluator. We have. Our best speaker tonight is Jadra. So congratulations. And tonight we have the Toastmasters Choice Award, the most improved, because Gauhar, you did lots of improvements since last time. We have a most improved speaker for you. Please congratulations. So everyone, job well done. Before we adjourn our meeting, we have a few business items to take care of that involve mostly the members. We have to vote on a new member. So can you help maybe us to make sure all the members have one of these? It's the pledge for those that will be joining. And so we have someone who's desiring to join as an official member of Toastmasters Club. And before we vote on that, can we have, our Vice President of Membership is not here. So Gahar, can you please explain about membership and what the benefits of membership are?
Okay, so you can keep coming to our meetings as a guest, and you are always welcome as guests, but you get the most out of the club if you become a member. So if you become a member, you will have to, or you want to, do speeches past your ice-breaking speech, which is what we expect from members, to take one row and to do one speech. But if you want to practice your speeches even more, it's better to become a member. You will complete your projects from the, well, this is a different manual, but there is a manual for communication, and you will complete your 10 speeches from that booklet. And the path is really long, so you can go even further than that. And that's the benefits of becoming a member. And plus you can take the more important roles such as Toastmasters, Table Topics Master, which was I said today. You will get to organize different events. So there's a big and interesting community. So we strongly encourage you to become members.
All right, thank you. So Greg is also our treasurer, and so if you're interested in becoming a membership, he has membership applications for you, and you can give him money to become an official member. We have to pay dues to the headquarters in California. Well, a person who's submitting their name for membership tonight is John Sai. John Sai, can you please tell us why you want to become a member and why we should vote on you to be a part of our club?
Okay. I'd like to become a member because I think it's a good place to meet new people, to improve, and it's like a huge step for your personal development. So I'd like to keep coming to these meetings and do my best to improve.
I'll now ask Ilyas, our Sergeant at Arms, to escort you from the room while we have discussion and take a quick vote. So, it's our normal procedure. There's Toastmasters clubs around the world have similar procedures. The Sergeant at Arms has the key to success. The key to okay. So first of all, we need a motion from the floor to accept John Sai as a member. Is there anyone? This is only for active members. Anyone care to make the motion?
I move that John Sai becomes a member of the club.
Is there a second?
I second.
Yes, we moved and seconded to accept John Sai as a member of the Toastmasters Club. Is there any discussion? Any comments for or against? Okay. If there's no discussion, we'll move to a vote. So again, only for official members. So those in favor of accepting John Sai as a member, please raise your right hand. Okay, can you count the votes? The secretary has to count the votes. So we have to do minutes and keep official records and stuff as part of our club. In order to become a distinguished Toastmaster club, we have to file reports, do different things. 14. All those opposed, raise your left hand. Whew. I was hoping we wouldn't see anyone. Ilyas, can you invite John Sai back in? And please stand up here with me. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, it is now our privilege to induct John Sai as a new member of the Almaty Toastmasters Club. This is an important and happy occasion for John Sai and for our club. We now have an opportunity to help her learn, grow, and achieve. So, John Sai, as a member of the Almaty Toastmasters Club, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. Toastmasters is a worldwide organization dedicated to helping one another in the spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Would Aisha please come forward? So Aisha has agreed to become your mentor as a new member of the club, and she is now part of her responsibility to help you get off to a good start. So Aisha, do you accept this responsibility and pledge to share your knowledge and experience with John Sai?
Yes, I do.
And shake hands as all good Toastmasters do. So, John Sai, membership in this club and in Toastmasters International places certain obligations upon you. This means that you must work diligently toward your own self-development, evaluate other speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching its goals, remain positive, and lastly, keep a smile on your face. Really, it's written here. You have to keep a smile on your face. Okay. So, John Sai, please affirm your commitment to the Almaty Club by answering "I will" to the following statements. Do you promise, 1, to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment? To apply yourself to the program outlined in the Toastmaster manuals? To participate actively in club activities? To evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner? To build open, friendly relationships with your fellow Toastmasters? And to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefit of Toastmasters. Okay. Would all members please stand? Please stand. And please recite with me the pledge to new members. So beginning with we. We, the members of the Almaty Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you the opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Congratulations. We have a few remaining minutes, and so I've warned a few people. Elections are coming up soon, and so we're going to have an impromptu, so to speak, table topic. So timer, you're back on duty. Timer, be ready. They only have 1 to 2 minutes So those who are running for officers, can you please be our timer again for these folks? So we want to hear from people about your vision for Toastmasters, why you're interested in being an officer, and first of all, I'd like to hear from Aliyah. You have 1 to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. Once again, for those of you who don't know, I've worked very hard for this club to become official. I've actually been, before it was official, I've been attending these club meetings since 2008 or 9. And so I keep working hard to make sure we build on, from what we've already achieved right now. And the reason I want to be in the leadership team, remain there, or at least assist those who are going to be the leadership team. I'm going to remain active, I can promise you that, is because I care for this club, I care for our values, I care for our brand, but most importantly, the reason it would be fun to do things right now is because we finally have a very strong membership team and membership in general. So I feel that we can achieve so much, and so many interesting initiatives are there already. And we're just starting, and it's very hard to just let it go. But I promise that there will be a smooth transition. Whoever's going to be in the leadership team, I know that all of our founding members have remained in the leadership team so far. It's not a secret. We're not holding on to our positions, trust us. We just want to make sure it's in the right hands, and we want to mentor those who are going to be doing it in a proper manner. My vision for the club would be for us to expand. There should be more clubs in Almaty, so we can do it. Each individual member can open their own club in their own district. We can open in schools, libraries, universities, wherever. That would be, far-going goal. But essentially maintaining the friendly environment in which we can support each other, because one of the benefits and the vibes of these meetings and our club in general are the people. Those of you who are developing, improving yourselves, and wanting to become better than before, better communicators, better public speakers, better leaders as well. So it's just fun to watch and mentor a lot of you, and I'm happy to be part of this club, and whatever role I'm in, I would love to continue building the team. So thank you.
Good job. Next I'd like to call Ilyas to come up and give his vision.
Thank you. Yes, actually I'm running for the president of our Toastmaster club in Almaty, and of course, yeah, thank you. I'm not sure, actually, a lot of doubts in me that can I do better than Tom, because he did it like 7 or 8 years, yes, and maybe more. But for me, like, it's a really big challenge to work in this team. But I have some visions, because I think Toastmasters, it's not only we should open some clubs like this in schools, in universities, to share these values with the Kazakhstan. Because here, just look around, here are people who want to develop themselves. We are sitting here in one place, and we are actually the future of our country. And like few points which I want to say to you, what I want to really be in, if I will be president, what will be here during this year. Like, it will be speech contests here, and monthly basis, like hiking or snowboarding or skiing. And I want to improve our system of signing, to do it online, and improve our mentoring system. Vote for me.
Next I'd like to call on Greg Heber to come up and share about his vision.
The time is now. The time for our club to progress forward and to become bigger, better and stronger. Never before in our short history have we had such a resemblance of stability within our club. The newly elected officers, whoever they will have more time than ever to devote to their roles and responsibilities as have been given to them. The Vice President of Education is one of the most important officers within the club, if not the most important outside of the President himself or herself. The Vice President of Education will have certain roles and responsibilities like all officers, and as the Vice President of Education, I promise you that I will make sure that all members, new and current members, understand fully the education manuals that are the backbone of our club. That's predominantly both these manuals. As Vice President of Education, I also can promise you that new members I will all members I will personally sit down with and try to understand your own personal goals for this club and then try to help you achieve those goals. As Vice President of Education, I also promise you that I will lead the mentoring team, which if you were here a couple of weeks ago when we had a business meeting and I gave a presentation on mentoring, you will understand the importance of mentoring. So I promised you that I will dedicate myself in the time that I have, free time, to this club and its future. So please, if you remember, please vote number 1 for education, Greg Heaver.
Next, we have someone else interested in VP of Education as well. That is Andre.
So, yes, I'm also interested, but I'm not striving to have a position. That's what I'm interested in a product. So, as you can understand, the club from 2 perspectives. One perspective is exterior, which is public relations. It's like one wing, and the project is a second wing. So we cannot have only one wing, we will fall. And we cannot have, we need to have 2 wings to fly and to fly high. So that's why what I can do I'm a teaching, so I'm an education person, I'm interested in education, educating people. I'm interested in product, what we do. And I see that this is a good product. I've seen it. I've seen I read a lot of manuals available, and you cannot even imagine how much can you have access to, how many materials you can access to if you're a member. Lots of, more than 100. Just need to use your fingers to type on the internet and find out. But for you to do this more easily, you can always have a good team, us, who will help you to progress. Because I know that half people here not even understanding what is Toastmasters really. What can it give you? It can give you a lot. It can give you speaking skills. It's only one thing. It can give you leadership skills. It's other thing. If you're interested only in one, you can just come and give speeches. It's nothing. No one is against it. But if you want to be fully committed, you give speeches and you participate in do leadership projects in the second manual. So this is again dualism of 2 sides. So you can do one, you can do second, you can do both. And if you do both, you are a great person, because leaders are not just for politicians or for religious person. Leaders could be everywhere, and leaders are made here.
The other speeches will have to wait till next week to hear more from them. We have a couple of announcements here at the end. One is, Yamar wants to make an announcement about a social. Can you please announce about that?
Yes, just a quick announcement. So tomorrow, me with my friends Baurjan and Anwar are going to play bowling at 8 or 9 in Metro. So if everyone feels that like meeting once in a week is not enough, just come join us. We're gonna have fun. We'll have discount 50% off. So if anyone interested, please approach me after the meeting. Yes. So after this meeting, we are also going to somewhere to have a dinner, to chat, and everyone just join us.
Also, if you're new tonight and want to be added to the database, Ilyas has been collecting people's contact information. Can you please explain that for when?
If you are first time here, please come to me and sign up for the email distribution. Yes.
All right, thank you. And as a visiting president, we'd like to give you an opportunity to say any words to our club, and you can take your photo before we adjourn. How do you want us to do the photo? Do you want to?
Well, I thought we can do it after you close the meeting and we will gather at the one place because the photo to take whole table will be difficult. And I want to share my experience.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I really enjoyed the meeting. I took some notes that we could incorporate some details from your experience in the Almaty Toastmasters Club. And I just want to share one quick announcement. Recently I was contacted by one of Chinese Toastmasters clubs, and they are doing the Silk Road conference at October. And they asked us to shoot a video of greetings to support their conference. And I thought that, well, actually Almaty was on the Silk Road historically, not Astana. I thought you would be interested too to contact that club and be in the conference as a video presenter too. So again, thank you. I really enjoyed the experience. I hope public speaking is not just a tool to have fun or to send some message. Public speaking is a tool to build a better life. I wish every single of you to use public speaking skills, to gather in this club, and leadership skills to take the next step, not only in your life, but in your profession and your personal experience, personal life. Thank you.
So if you're interested in becoming a member, you have to give an icebreaker speech first and also take a roll. So speeches are, I think, filled until like May 11th. And so if you want to give a speech, come up and talk to me afterwards. Sign up. We also need, I think most roles are filled. We do need, if you want to take accountant, timer, grammarian for next week or evaluator, please come and see me. And with that, we adjourn our meeting.